Hi, welcome to AEP 800, Module 5. My name is Mark Nutio. You may look at this slide and say, why is he starting off with U2, With or Without You, 1987? Facebook, 2004. Facebook kind of changed the whole communication system between people and around the world, it seems, for social networking. Today I social networked for 2 hours and 49 minutes. My iPhone is also telling me I had 9 minutes of creativity, not sure how they judged that, and 4 minutes of entertainment. So basically, technology has told me today that I'm getting older and I'm apparently a boring person. With or Without You, why did I put it there? 1, it's a good song, and 2, it's kind of like technology. Can I live with or without you? So to summarize the articles, I looked at 3 key areas. 1 was accessibility, and this comes back to With or Without You. Some people want to have computers, they want to use technology. Some schools need computers, they want the technology, but they don't have the accessibility or the funding to get the technology that they need. The proper use of computers, even if they had that technology, you have to look at your staff, you have to look at the programs, you have to look at why you want computers in your school. And that all kind of leads to the vision. With the vision, I think a school has to have a clear vision based on their funding, based on their staffing resources, and based on their overall goal for the student. If you look at these eyes, it kind of immediately, because of technology, you would see the Google ring, whereas 20 years ago, if you could see this picture, you probably wouldn't even think Google right away. But it's a good symbol to say that if you have the technology, you must have a good vision to use it. And here's my little display on digital divide, so I can get my creativity up to about 6 minutes for today. So if we look at everything with the digital divide, on one side we have a messed up tangram puzzle. And to me, that's kind of like all the things that go into a digital divide. That's your human resources, your funding, the vision of the school, and it seems like it's so mumble-jumbled. On the other side, we have a perfectly complete tangram. That is the ideal technological school. And for me personally, I just think that the digital divide will always exist. I always think that schools will have pieces to have a good program for their students and using technology and being innovative. But I don't think they can have it all the time to put it together. And even from reading the articles, it seems like the schools in the States, for some of them, these technology schools, that even if they have it all, you're still not catering to the average student. And I think that's the problem, is that you're taking the elite students and saying, yes, you're good enough to come to our school because you have passed the admittance exams and because you're a high achiever. But let's look at those students and see what resources they might even have at home. Are they from well-to-do families? Do they have better support at home? So I'd like to look at the demographics of those kids overall. With the school, again, human resources, there's so many things. You've got to get staff on board with your vision. Funding has to be in place. It has to be a good funding plan to address the technological needs as the future. And you have to have a good mindset and vision to sell your staff on what your ultimate goal is for your students. So if you look at the skill sets that you need for the 21st century, I actually asked some teachers about this to go along with my own thoughts. And we thought flexibility was one. With technology changing, you have to have flexibility in your staff to change as well. And you have to have a flexibility in the way that you're teaching to incorporate real-world applications into your teaching. With these applications, you want to involve some type of critical thinking to solve real-world problems. Again, I've said this the whole course that it doesn't matter if you can solve a math problem. It's how you apply that learning into the real world that really makes a difference. When you look at technology, you want to see what technology you have in the school and is that technology needed for the 21st century. Are your teachers trained enough to incorporate that technology in a purposeful way in your school? I hope so. And again, our guidance counselor here said that students nowadays need good time management and organization. And I think that gets back to everything just seems to be so easy when you have all the technology around you. So, but with that, you have to be more organized, I believe, to manage your schedules and your time appropriately. So there's the impact of global economy. For me, I'm pretty good. I have my iPhone 6. Sure, am I behind times? Maybe to some, but on average, it's okay. Computer, I have a personal and work computer. Living in China, I have cheap internet, $20 a month, and I also have cheap TV, 342 channels for $20 a month. All the packages. It's great. I'm not going to say how I get it, but it's cheap and it's good and it works. But again, I feel bad for people who maybe who cannot access that. I feel that if you cannot keep up with the news today, and you do not have basic internet needs, then you are falling behind a little bit. So with technology training, you must know a lot about the program knowledge. I think it's important to know the key trends coming up. With our school, we're just getting into VR now, amongst other things. And you also have to use effective use of your technology training. I think when it comes to the staff, you really have to approach the staff in a sensitive way, especially staff who are not used to technology. And I believe that if you do that, then they will come more on board with your vision and will support any technology training that you want to offer them. So this is a picture of our school. Our school is basically owned by one person who is a millionaire. And we do have a lot of technological resources, iPads, Apple computers, 3D printing, virtual reality. We basically have it all. The one problem we do have is that the internet itself in a geographical location that I live is pretty slow at school and at home. So again, it comes back to even if you have it all, you still have to use it wisely. And that is the key for students. Excuse me there. So we have our iPads, our 3D printing, and our virtual reality. Okay, so some advantages of innovative practices. Obviously, you're keeping up with 21st century skills. You're using real-world applications. I think learning today should be inquiry-based. It should be about real problems in the real world that you're solving. It should be data-driven in that you're using the data to drive new approaches to learning for some students. And not just looking at the numbers, but in the content form, but also in the conceptual thinking of the student as well. Oftentimes, again, it comes back to, can you solve a math problem? But are we really taking data on how are you applying the solution to that math problem to the real world? And I think that's always a new area to explore for many schools. And of course, we're connecting the world. Again, I looked at some virtual reality the other day about a Syrian refugee camp, and it was just amazing. It was just like I was sitting in that camp, and I hope everyone could have that experience. Unfortunately, they won't, but we can connect if we can connect through our ideas and our thoughts and socially interact with people in a safe way over the internet, then we are learning a lot as well. And there's some disadvantages of innovative practices. You'll hear about that a little bit later. But social networking is one. You always have to be safe. Misleading information. We always teach the children about using reliable and safe internet sites. And just because you read it on the internet doesn't always mean it's true. Cyber theft. And I put this here, Lego of technology, because there is something of overuse of technology. And the thing I love most as a grade 2 teacher is honestly just sitting back and watching my kids play Lego. I think that's the basis for all their creativity, their building, their design. And sometimes it's nice just to let go or Lego of technology and let a kid be a kid and learn real world skills that don't involve technology as well. So there's cyber theft and Lego of technology. So cyberbully versus average Joe. Let's have a listen to this, please. Actually, you know what? I'll let you listen to this and then I can comment on it a little bit after. But as always with the internet, you have to be careful with everything. I was once a victim of identity theft. Thinking I was paying for an iTunes account, and I was actually giving somebody money for trips and gym memberships and everything else for a week. So thankfully I got it sorted out. But also in your classroom, you have to be careful with a lot of things. But I'll let the cyberbully versus average Joe main event explain that a little bit more to you. And one question to reflect on, I think, is that if you could live in the past, present, or future, what would you choose and why? For me, it's a combination of things, but I do like hard work. I do like going out shoveling snow, chopping wood, and I do like going on Facebook. But overall, I want you to think about at any time, at any period in history, why would you want to choose? Why would you live in that time? Was technology around then? How much was it around? You let me know. It's been very nice talking to you today. We're in the Chinese New Year, so Xin Yin Kuai Lo, which means Happy New Year in Chinese. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day, everyone.